Member Saanich North and the Islands.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I think that that might have been one of the most unfortunate answers that the minister could have provided this House. As somebody who just stood and spoke to our democracy, I feel like I have no choice but to stand again and remind the minister that basically the answer that she just provided demonstrated a basic disrespect for this House, a basic disrespect for the people of British Columbia. The people of British Columbia elect political parties and representatives from political parties to come in here and do a job. People elect a government not to come in here and pass judgment on what information is acceptable to share and what information is not, which is exactly what this minister just articulated to this House. There is apparently in the Ministry of Citizen Services a value judgment placed on which requests are acceptable and which requests are not. The freedom of information is the freedom of information, fishing or specific. One of the things that should be pointed out to this minister is that when you actually put something specific, you get a response that it's not available. Yeah. And so the way that the freedom of information that system that has evolved under this government is that if you can't get a response from a specific request, then you ask a general question. Then you take the response from that general question and you dig further. You ask the next question and the next question. Because what freedom of information, and the minister just demonstrated in a response, it's turned into a game. We should not be playing a game. There should not be a value judgment placed by the minister responsible for freedom of information as to what is an acceptable request and what is not. Who gave government the power to determine which information should flow freely and which information should be judged as superfluous? Superfluous. Nobody. It's the job of the Ministry of Citizen Services to facilitate a process that responds in as speedy a time as possible to the requests that are made, passing no judgment on the request that was made. Has that minister, that bureaucracy has no understanding as to the reason why someone is making a request. It's none of their business. When the minister stands up and gives the answer that she just gave my colleague from Cowichan Valley, it turns the frustration that I expressed earlier into, it ramped it up. Because it's not acceptable. This is not acceptable. This minister is showing a complete and total disregard for information in this province, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what tools are at our disposal to reconcile this, but that answer that was just given to my colleague was completely unacceptable. No judgment should be passed. No blame should be placed on the members of this House for doing their job and then amending the way they do their job because of the results that they're getting. I have an individual in my riding that didn't get it in 30 days, didn't get it in 60 days, and whose FOI response was just kicked to February of next year. It's a game. This minister is playing a game with this system. The games were evident this week in this House with none of the members who seem to be filling the benches now to come and not stand up and speak. Other bills, run the clock to the end of the day. Just turning this House into it's making a mockery of this democracy. Thinking that you can take this process and just turn it into a joke, and because people are busy doing things like trying to survive in this world, that they're not paying attention. And so guess what? When they go to get their information that they're requesting, there's a judgment passed on it now, or we're waiting for the regulations to be drafted. Because we've put in front of this House enabling legislation and asked this place to shut their eyes and vote for it. I have no question